Okay, so we're back here. We've got our mission and our map open. Nothing lines up. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a play with moving our mission around now. If I press F2 and have a look here and have a look at my clips here, which are these coloured lines, you'll notice there on the outside, this is the auto clip. The auto clip is like the default sort of clip name. You can add more clips, and so what we're going to do is we're going to right click there and we're going to add a clip. I'm just going to call it start. So, and it will basically be the same as the auto. It just made a copy of it, and because they're on top of each other you can't actually see it. So, but with it selected, I can start to move them. Now with these lines, the blue line basically indicates how far the center of the camera can move. So by clicking the camera position, I can't move past that blue line. And basically that won't take effect until you reload the mission as well. So, but anyway, I'm going to unclip that for now. So what I want to do is and they're a bit hard to grab sometimes, and the purple line is the outside of the, basically the way I understand it, the purple line indicates that, for example, if there's trees and bushes out here outside the purple line and a bullet travels through, or a bomb or whatever, it won't affect anything on the outside. It's kind of like the limit of the map itself and what's happening outside or inside of the map. So alright, now the yellow line and the green line, which are connected together, basically this yellow line indicates as far as the player can actually move, and the green line indicates the edge of the fog. You would have noticed on the edge of maps. Let's put an environment in here so we can illustrate this. So that's just F6. I'll just pick something there, and when we press the start mode and then go into F1, which it's okay, it's working off the auto at the moment. So what I'm going to quickly do is go into F3, and I'm going to create a quick little trigger here. You can do it in here in start, in here in vars, and I'm actually going to add something here called set clip, which is, maybe it's in scene, set clip, there we go. I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to basically tell it to take notice of the start clip instead of the auto clip, which it's on by default. Okay, save that, press start and F1. Now we see that the fog goes to the green line. There's the dotted line we can't go past, and the way it is, we've got this hard edge. So we either want to bring our lines in to give it a nice clean edge like this up the side, or, which we might do, is make our map just a little bit bigger all the way around so we can utilize the area that we've spent time filling out. So unclip that camera so I can zoom out, click on the start clip. So I'm going to move these because I want to be able to move up these paths and stuff that I've put in there. So I'm going to move him back out roughly where it was. Now before you can actually edit the terrain again, you've actually got to unload the map. So first I'm just going to save my map first as it is, and save my mission as it is. So, and then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to unload. That's on F3, the mission. Go into F2 mode, and now I have access to the terrain tools and that stuff again. So I'm just going to grab my polygon tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some polygon around. So at some point later I'll come back into the map editor as well and fill this out a bit. So just quickly go around, and that's holding the left button down, and of course you can use the right button to delete any you want to tart it up a bit and make it look pretty. Quickly, probably getting bored. Alright. Okay, then simply save that. Then I'm going to go back to the F3 mode, and I'm going to load up the mission file. So there we go, good. Now we've got some room to move. So if I press F1 and look at that, you can see the fog's going to be going off the map there and whatever. So at some point, you know, it'd pay to go back into the map editor and put an odd tree here and there, and just to make that look like it blends a bit better, because you can see it's a vacant area, because that's what it is. Okay, so let's get into it. So if we look at our, for a start, our flags, let's check our flags. I'm going to hit Alt T to bring up the tag so I can tell those are flags too. So I'm going to move them out the way for the moment, because what I want is I want flag 1 up in here. So I'm going to bring them up, put them on top of one another so we can't see the changeover when it happens. Put that more or less in the center. Now I'm going to have to find my zone, so flag in a 1. I'll have to come over here and line up. And so we'll outer 1. So basically, if you recall, what we have to do is to capture the flag is we have to be inside the center zone, the inner one, and there has to be no enemies in the outer one. That's our conditions we've made. So, and I will move these two flags, which are for this one, sorry, these two zones, just move them out of the way. And let's look at, so the way it works is too, with our buttons, our reinforcement buttons, our guys will, when we click the button to bring them in, they'll start moving in from wherever they are on the map. So we probably don't want them coming in here, our reinforcements. We might move them, maybe they can come in on this corner perhaps. That's where, so this is where they'll come in from. So we'll just, here's our squad. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Now we'll look at our waypoint path. These are our reinforcements. Now unfortunately you can't just highlight the whole lot. You can move it, but what you can't do is rotate it, unfortunately. So the point here is going to be, now you can move them around just with pressing the right click with it selected. So these are going to be the enemy reinforcements. I'm going to have them come from there, and I can either go through the trouble of moving all these points around, or because really the only one that's scripted is this one, which has an actor state, plus we refer to it in our enemy reinforcements script. We talk about waypoint O, so we don't want to delete that one either if we delete any, but we could easily we could either move them individually, or I could simply delete them and just start adding points again, like so, which can be sometimes just as quick as trying to move a whole bunch of points. Now I can actually put some scripts on the end of some of these waypoints, so that when the guy gets there I can give him some commands. I can either make him hold his position there, or I can make him go free roam, or what we'll do is we'll add something, we'll put in an actor state, so when he reaches that point, it'll be the guy who reaches a waypoint, which selector does that nicely for us. And we will put him, where's his move mode? We'll put him on hold position. That's okay, and we will also add something here, which is actor to cover. So we're going to leave that exactly how it is, actor to cover, mode best. So he's going to find the best cover. So he's going to get to this point, he's going to hold his position. Could even just move them around perhaps. Now I don't have to do that and now do the same thing in there. If I want guys to hold this position too, I can simply copy that one with Control C, select that waypoint, and then wherever I put Control V, it's going to link it and put it. So there you go, they're going to go actor to cover there as well, and they're going to hold position. So I might make a couple hold position points, because what are they doing here? Let's have a look. These guys are on free roam when they arrive at this point, so they'll be on free movement all the way up until they reach these points. So what these guys will do, because they're on the hold position, they will hold when they get there, whereas anyone who arrives at, say, this position, they're going to still be on free movement, and they're going to leave the positions and stuff. So it might be an idea to have a mix, where we don't specify anything, they just arrive there, and then as soon as they see the enemy, they'll start moving around. We could, we'll just make a copy of that one. We could do where we change this, instead of hold position, we could put in a zone, and we could specify a radius of, say, 10. So what that means is that basically when someone arrives at this point, they're going to, their movement is going to be limited to a 10-meter radius. So basically they're going to be able to move around within what it determines 10 as, whether it's meters or whatever. They're going to be able to move within that radius. So they'll charge out, have a few shots, and then if they go past the 10 meters, they'll come back. So we'll put a few of those around so we can see them in action. And we'll copy a few more of these, which are the hold position ones. And that'll give us something to view. Okay, so basically what we've done is we've moved around our reinforcement lines. We've positioned our flag in there. We've moved where our guys are going to start from, and these are our reinforcement points. It doesn't matter where they go, because they basically go to wherever we click on the screen, but we can just, to keep things neat and tidy, we can just put them where we can see them. And we'll save that and press start. F1, right. Alright, looks like there's a couple things left over from when I was map making too, which I will have to get rid of.
Got it, sir.
Okay. Aha. Of course. What I have forgotten to do was, previously in one of the videos we were testing stuff, and we turned off the enemy reinforcements here. So I need to turn that back on, and also I will save that, and I will go into F2 mode, where I've got a unit here who was serving as my little tester. I'll delete him, and also had a tank here I was driving around with, so I'll delete him, save my map, back to F3 mode, F1 and start. Now those lines too, you can easily turn them off in here so they're not visible. Alright, so you can see we've got enemy coming in. They're going to move up here. We can look at them. We can even select someone, maybe. Looks like they're all sticking together, these guys. Okay, so what have they done?
Got it, sir.
Let's see who survives. Finish that. So what we could do is we could also put people already in position. We could set up pack guns. We could do all that sort of stuff too, and maybe we will look at some of that. What I would suggest though is for the reinforcements who spawn in, I would generally have these guys not so much holding position, but probably with either free movement or zone, so they can move around a bit. That's what I would generally do with reinforcements that come in. When I place people around the map, I would put them in hold positions and things like that to begin with. But here I want to have a quick look at something here and show you where we bring in our enemy reinforcements. We make them a squad. If I untick that, so all I've done is these are the enemy who are coming in. I'm unticking them into a squad. So let's see how that affects their behaviour as they come in up here, following the lines. You'll notice when they were a squad, they tend to all run up the same point. But because they're not a squad anymore, they tend to split up at these junction points and spread out more. So that is definitely something to consider. Look at the different spread we got this time compared to the last one. So when you're bringing in reinforcements and stuff, you need to be mindful too whether or not you want them to spread out more, or whether you want them to clump together as a squad and stick together, and so all them things come into play. So of course you're the designer of your own mission, so you make those decisions as you go. For this style of mission, I would I'd probably stick with not having them as a squad. Having them spread out more, they make better use, take up better positions, and they're not just all clumped in a group like they were in the first one. So that's more things to consider when you're building your mission. Okay. So putting some guys down on the map who are basically just guys in position or on guns and stuff is pretty simple. Just simply we'll grab a couple, we'll put a machine gun and a pack gun or something to that effect out. So let's see, we're Germans. Put some guys to use these things. Okay, now we want a machine gun. I think they're under canning. See an MG42. What's the other one? We'll just go with that one. Okay, so one of those, and we want to make all these guys, because our enemy are player 1. We've got to make sure we put these guys in the same player group. So they're player 1, and Still in cannons. Let's see. Back 40, they're quite nasty. Okay. So what's he? Let's check him. He should be player 1 as well. Alright. F1 to move them up. I've got to press 1 on my number pad to select them.
Jawohl.
Alright. And of course, I could always, now that I've got them on the map, I could just go Control C and Control V and put in another one if I wished, which we might do. I can put one of them down there. And it's always fun to just have a look and see just where they can shoot. So just what can see him. Okay. So we'll save that. And we might put a couple guys already in position. Some basic riflemen will do. Germans. Yep. Now what you might also want to do is have some of you guys patrolling even. So what we could do is we could add another group here and call it patrols. And I could do a little path here. Have to have that selected for an auto link. We could have some guys just at the onset, they're just wandering around checking the place out. We go into F2 and untick that camera so I can zoom out and have a good look. So with paths, you can have them going both ways. So if I select them in order, selected that one, then that one, then that one, and then go link, you'll see they get two lines like this. Okay, going one direction and the other. So basically, whenever someone arrives at that point, they can go the opposite direction as well. So we'll look at that, we'll get it set up, and then we'll give it a quick test. That must be heading that way. That one there, link. Back this way. Looks like we could bring that up there and have a bit of a path here too, simply because we can. So we've basically got paths that loop around back and forward, so we might just have them cut through there as well. So what I'll do is I'll all these guys I put here, I might put them on a hold position and simply run them in some way to stand and keep an eye out.
Jawohl. Jawohl. Verstanden.
Not sure what his was. He's on hold. Okay. Now we'll also put down a couple guys on patrol. So we might get some submachine gun guys. So now these guys, because they're going to be patrolling, and I'm going to have to script them to patrol, I'm going to give them a tag. So how many do I want patrolling? I'll go with 6 guys patrolling. I've selected them and I'm just going to go Control T to bring up their tags, and I'm going to call them Start Patrol and add that to them. So I'm going to write a little script here. I'm going to create a new trigger. I'm going to call it Patrols and then Start. So under Patrols I've got my Start Patrol. No conditions because it's going to happen straight at the start. I'm going to add basically a waypoint command. So who? It's it's actors. We can just go with a standard source because they're on the map. They're not hidden. There's nothing technical about this one. They're just basic guys. So we're going to start patrolling. I'm going to put them on the tag name of them, which is Start Patrol, and we got to determine what waypoint number, so we'll start them at 44, and they'll spread out and they'll go their own ways and all that because they're not a squad, they're just 6 individuals. So back to my trigger start. Okay, so that was waypoint number 44. So, what I also think, because this mission, in our previous setups, where we were just getting this stuff working, we had a limit here of 30 for the bad guys. So we've started out with how many? We've got we're going to have 6 guys patrolling, and we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got about 10 guys there already. So what I'm thinking is, if there's less than, we're going to change this number, and I'm going to make it 10. Actually, what we might do, here's something we can do. We can make it so this value changes. So the overall plan here is that how I plan to make this mission progress is that the player starts off, comes up, captures this flag. Once they capture this flag, we're going to open up another section of the map, so the player then progresses up along the map. So our reinforcements, we're going to kind of keep reusing those guys. So what I want to do is, at the beginning of the mission, I want them only coming in at a certain limit, but as we get further up the map, we want to be able to change this value of how many units there are on the map before they decide to come in. So what we'll do is we'll give this here a value, a variable, and to do that we first have to create a variable, which we have to go into F9 here and go into vars, and then right click and add, and basically what are they? They're the G Elites, if I remember right. G Elites limit, and that's what I'm calling my variable. Then I go back into this trigger here, and where it does say 30, we're going to swap that for a variable, which is G-Elite's limit we just created. Now at the moment G-Elite's limit doesn't have a value, so we have to actually assign it a value. So we've got a function here already we've used previously, and I'm going to make a copy of that one. Click on there, G-Elites, and I'm going to give it a value of 8. Now that'll spawn a set of guys in straight away. Now our G-Elite squad puts in, what do we got there? We got 7. Okay, so that would actually pump in 2 squads, because after the first one they still wouldn't have 8, so really only want 1 coming in at this point. So if I set my variable to 6, that way it should, I'm going to predict that it'll spawn in 1 squad of these guys. They'll come running in, and then they won't, once one of them dies, hang on, what's our conditioning? Let's check this. It's less than so when there's less than 6, which would mean 5, and there's 7 coming in. So when 2 get killed, then it would pump out another 7, and that's what it would keep doing. Every time the number falls below 6, so every time there's 5 or less, they will pump in some more. Okay. And also notice, looking at our map, all our guys we put on here are all this player 1 when they need to be player 1, or else we're just going to have them fighting right off the bat. We don't want that. So there we go. Let's give that a save, and then a test, and we should see these guys coming along, spreading out and doing their patrols.
Sehr verdächtig.
Whereas these guys are coming up, join the party as they do. And this is before the player even interacts with anything. So these guys are simply on patrol. And you know, this could be quite atmospheric if we're doing a night mission. And they're following those paths around as we would expect. There's lots of things you can do with paths. You could go in here and you could add little commands that tell them to say wait, doing things like that. You could put add a time, so when they get to certain points you could have them so they stop and wait for 10 seconds, like as if they're walking around, and then stop and look around and then move on again. So there's lots of different ways you can play with all that sort of stuff, and it is a case of simply playing with things and working out what works best. So let's see if we can rush up here and kill anyone or get killed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
In the next video, I think we should probably look at setting up the conditions so when we take this, we open up the next bit. So that would probably involve
Yes, sir.
some more map building, I'm afraid.
Bewegung.
Come on, guys, get up there. get yourself skilled.
Got it, sir. Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Scheiße, mein Bein! Already on it, sir! Give him hell! On it, sir! Yes, sir!
Got it, sir.
Okay, boys, flood the area. As you develop your mission, you'll have to, if we factor in all these different things where we can change numbers and stuff, it becomes much easier to tweak your mission to help balance it, make it easier, make it harder, whatever. Yeah.
Hey, Jungs!
Okay, well, I'm going to post this video and upload this to the workshop so that you guys can have a look and have a play and move things around, tweak it a bit, do whatever, see how it works, experiment, have fun, guys. Cheers.